Your Highness, you are also like a stream of bat's piss. It was one of Wilde's. Its sodding was not, it was Shaw. I merely meant, Your Majesty, that you shine like a shaft of gold when all around is dark. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. I see today that California courts are going to take up the idea of a ban on gay marriages. So even though the will of the people has been expressed, once again the courts come into play to question the will of the people. Personally, whenever ballot issues come up and these things are decided upon by the people, I say go with what the people want. After all, this is the very nature of what this country is. And for the courts to second guess what the people want, I think is a bunch of bullshit. So I personally don't care one way or the other when it comes to gay marriage. If gay people want to get married, let them do it. Let them have as much misery as heterosexual couples do, for the most part, since the divorce rate and single-parent households are so high in this country. If they want to join in on that, more power to them. But if the people decide they don't want this, then I don't think it's the court's place to step in and make a decision otherwise. The Dow fell below 8,000 today, which indicates that the economy is far from robust, as we all know. And contrary to what some people would have you believe, there is no end in sight to this. The economy is continuing to experience tremendous upheaval. The stock market is going through a really difficult time. It's going to continue for some time in the future. Don't expect to see anything different. The same old bloodthirsty bastards are running the show, and as far as that goes, it's going to continue down the same fucking path that it's on right now. Okay, so personally, I don't recommend getting involved in the stock market at all. Even people who think that they're going to get on the bottom floor on some good deals, you're really messing with a bad thing here, a possibility of some serious losses. So if you invested heavily in there, I suggest you find some other ways to shore up your investments. Once again, I'm not an expert, and I'm far from a financial advisor, but I can see the writing on the wall, and I hope you can too. And of course, the Do-Nothing Congress, which has done nothing for 2 years, again refuses to act on the auto industry bailout question. And they appear to be shuffling it off to Bush, who has already indicated that he does not want to do anything about it. Paulson and Bernanke, Paulson specifically, I don't know about Bernanke, but has said that he doesn't want any of the $750 billion bailout being used for the auto industry. So it looks like a hard sell, but who knows what's going to come. As I said before, if they're meant to get the money, they'll get the money. Whether it has to wait until Obama gets into office to happen, that's something to be seen. And our wonderful Majesty, President Bush, continues his assault on the American people as a lame duck president on his way out. He figures he's going to throw a couple of hand grenades into the mix just to get things started, because let me tell you, these last couple months are going to be a big fucking pain in the ass when it comes to him. Not only are there going to be significant pardons and all kinds of other shenanigans going on, but we already have the beginnings of that right now. With implementation at the Department of Labor, at the behest of President Bush, to change the Family and Medical Leave Act. Among the changes that have been implemented to take effect January 15th, one in particular strikes me as a true fucking travesty, and that is it totally flies in the face of so-called privacy regulations when it comes to you and your doctor, because this change allows your employer to contact your healthcare provider without your knowledge or your consent. Neither one is required. It sounds like the fucking Patriot Act for the Family and Medical Leave Act. You remember when they wanted to check your library records without your knowledge or consent and forbid the library to tell you anything about it? Doesn't this sound a lot like that? What about medical privacy? If this ends up being enacted, I hope doctors rebel and do not choose to participate whenever the employers contact them. Some other provisions that have been changed that are set to take effect in January include the need for more thorough documentation, more often documentation, and they would more narrowly define what is a serious health condition. This act has been instrumental in saving the jobs of thousands and thousands of people who otherwise would have been terminated through no fault of their own because they suffer from a serious condition and or have to take care of someone who does. Not only should these provisions be overturned, but this law should be strengthened to make it more in line with what some other European countries have in the way of help for their workers. So this is bullshit number one from fucking lame duck Bush. Bullshit number two is that he seems to be on the verge of putting into effect changes to the Endangered Species Act, which would relax regulations on that, meaning that more endangered species could be taken off the list and allowed to be hunted and killed and whatnot. I'm a big proponent of hunting. I think everybody should be allowed to hunt, and hunting is great and wonderful. Really mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. You know, we have an Endangered Species Act for a reason. There are certain animals that, you know, are suffering. So I think it's there for a reason, and it should be preserved. So that's another fucking lob of a grenade from Bush. So look for more of that to come, as any lame duck president is wont to do. And let me say this right at the outset. If Obama overturns the FMLA legislation, I will be one of the first people to come out and applaud him. I tell you this with no lie. But speaking of Obama, it looks as though his administration is shaping up to be Bill Clinton's third fucking term. So once again, I will put out there for all of the Obama supporters, where is the fucking change? He's putting in a bunch of former Clinton people and probably will have Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State. Where is the fucking change? Somebody tell me. Thank you. Good night.